called garbage doesn't seem to be so bad.
Ooh, wow.
Let's bring in former NRSC Executive Director and Coign CEO and founder, Rob Collins. Rob, always great to see you. Bob Casey finally admits defeat when there was no shot, even in this recount, that he was going to keep his Senate seat. But it was starting to look like, they were in favor of stealing an election and just breaking the law.
Well, the AP called it 2 weeks ago. Dave McCormick has been up 17,000 votes. The Democrats have picked up 4 votes, so I think he heard the footsteps and Casey just got out. But you're right. You have the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled in favor of McCormick, and you had a Bucks County commissioner, Democrat, decide she was going to hold up the election and not allow for this democratically elected new senator to replace Bob Casey. And I'm so glad. I think it's a symptom of Trump winning that so many Americans are not going to take it anymore, and they gathered and they let that commissioner have it last night. I think it was great, and it sends a signal to all these Democrats who pretend to love the rule of law until they lose that, America's not going to sit back and take it.
Right. I got to ask about Pam Bondi. What do you think is going to happen there? Gates pulled out for God knows what particular reason, but there were a lot of things piling up against it. She's got a relatively clean slate, doesn't she? Should she get through the Senate?
I've done confirmations before. Pam Bondi is a dream. She is tough, she's smart, she's qualified. And you know what? Florida, demographically and otherwise, is a microcosm of the U.S. She's ready to go day one. I'm thrilled. I think the Republicans should be thrilled, the Republicans in the Senate and America, because she's going to straighten things out over there.
Rob, stick with us if you can. We want to get into something else with a reporter and then get back to you.
Biden knows his time is running out and rushing to confirm radical judicial nominees, all before Trump comes to D.C.
Fox News' David Spunt has all the details on how Republicans plan to Bigfoot Biden judges. David?
Good evening. 5 more judicial candidates nominated by President Biden are one step closer to crossing the finish line. They made it out of committee earlier today and will head to the Senate floor in the coming days. Earlier this week, President-elect Trump made it clear he was upset that Biden-nominated judges were ultimately getting confirmed. The Senate has a Democratic majority, so Trump was not going to always get his way in this situation. However, Fox News was first to report that Democrats cut a deal with Republicans that may benefit both parties. The deal, approved by outgoing Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, allows Democrats to move on more district court judges in the coming weeks without Republican slow-down tactics on the floor. Republicans do plan to oppose the nominees in a traditional setting, but they promise not to slow it down in other ways on the Senate floor. In return, Democrats will not try to fill 4 appellate court spots and let the Trump administration appoint and try to fill those slots. The problem for Republicans, not all of their members showed up to these judge votes this week. Yesterday, a Biden-appointed judge was confirmed because Senators Ted Cruz and Senator Mike Braun were absent from the vote. Cruz and Braun eventually made it back to the Capitol, but missed that earlier vote. President Biden has roughly 220 judges confirmed, though he's nominated more than 260. Getting another 40 confirmed in the next 2 months is unlikely. But the one problem for Democrats, if they need a tie-breaking vote, it's Vice President Kamala Harris. She's currently on vacation in Hawaii. She could be back in Washington on a flight, but the next votes don't happen likely until December, so that should not be a problem, and Harris is expected to be back in Washington. David, Dagan.
All right, thank you.
David Spunt, thank you.
Well, Rob Collins is back with us. Rob, what do you make of this? The Senate has seen this before, people trying to jam in, the lame duck trying to jam in everything they can before the new guy takes over. It's happening again. Is there anything that the Republicans in the Senate can do to thwart this attempt to pile in as many justices as possible?
Well, I think they should call on President Biden to call his old boss, Barack Obama, and remind him that elections have consequences. The American people in a landslide have spoken, and they don't want all this liberal, underqualified judges being slammed through at the last minute. I think it's great. Next majority leader John Thune is working with Trump and the new administration to slow these down. It sounds like a pretty good deal they cut to really keep the appellate judges open for Trump. These are more, senior judges and will provide a bigger ideological view on the judiciary. But the Democrats still control the Senate for a few more weeks, and they're going to try to ram through as much liberal ideology, hardcore liberal judges as they can.
All right. Well, Rob, we really thank you on the breaking news and on talking about the judges as well. Appreciate you being here, Rob. By the way, good friend of Charlie Hurt. Say hi to Charlie Hurt for us, okay?
Oh, my God. He's the best. Down in Danville watching us right now.
We love him. All right,
Yeah,
Rob.
I talked to Charlie on the phone earlier today, but nobody on planet Earth would have ever been able to understand what we were saying to each other, Rob.
You were speaking Virginian?
Yeah, what do you call it? It's not Virginia. Southside. Rob, thank you.
See you, Rob.
All right, take care.
Blue City Mayor's really